Hello and welcome to another episode of 5-Minute Dissertation Diaries. My name is Marty Scholes and today is Sunday, March 27th, 2022. This week I got a lot done. Let's talk about it. First of all, on Monday I finished the ethical consideration section of the paper. I fixed the limitations section to address convenience sampling instead of purposive sampling. I rewrote the assumption section and outlined the delimitation section. I rewrote the delimitation section, a portion on convenience sampling. Tuesday, I had obligations, I wasn't able to do anything. On Wednesday, I completed the paragraphs of the assumptions and limitations section. The samples were drawn from a single online group, unconscious researcher bias, and conclusion. I rewrote the summary section, and I corrected all references to M&A strategy, C-level, mid-level, and frontline. Those are no longer valid. The proposal was complete. I processed it through recitworks and I corrected errors. I updated the tables. I submitted the proposal via LMS. I notified Dr. Lawrence via email that it had been submitted. I updated the ISP and I posted the LDP entry and attached the current proposal draft. That was Wednesday. Thursday, what did I do Thursday? I didn't do anything Thursday for school. I had stuff for work and I was just so tired. On Friday, my chair partially reviewed and suggested the proposal so far looks good enough for the methodologist. She'll probably submit it. I downloaded the new AQR checklist and I reviewed it, and I watched the 4th dissertation writing webinar. On Saturday, and this is where it gets really interesting, I wanted to really operationalize the process of doing the literature review. I figure I'll have to redo it, and I didn't understand what I was doing the first time I did it. I'll have to operationalize going through all my articles, hundreds of articles, and putting them into the MaxQDA software. So what I did was I thought, how am I going to operationalize that? How am I going to keep track of the steps? So what I did was I decided to put together a Trello board for operationalizing it. And I'll show you what that looks like here at the end of this video. I figured I'll need to revamp the literature review at some point. Of course, like I said, I need experience coding via MaxQDA software for data analysis for my study. I figured this would be a great time to do it when my paper's out for review. I created Trello lists with template checklists for each. This is really cool. Candidate, that's a landing spot for articles, and OCR, that's a list to verify that the article has text. As I mentioned before, I've got the opportunity to track what's happening with all of my articles. One of the challenges I faced was I didn't know which articles were, they're in too many places, too many things going on. So I put together a Trello board. If you're familiar with Trello, I encourage you to follow along. If you're not, you can check into it. But basically what you do is you create these lists. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lists so far. And each list has some number of cards. And the cards each represent an article or a book or a chapter. And let me tell you what I'm doing is, when I first get an article that I want to track or work on, I put it here in the candidate list. And it auto-populates with a checklist. When I'm done with that, it moves over into the OCR list where I verify it has text that's readable. I'm done with that, then I go in here and ingest. That's where it gets ingested into MaxQDA. And once it's done with that, it goes into holding for now. I'll create another list once I get done enough of these, and it'll be in here. But this tells me where I'm at. NACA Bulletin, that's fully done. In vivo coding, Axio code, all these are fully done. These here are in the process of being ingested into MaxQDA. This one here is in the process of making sure that I have OCR capability on it, and there are none here in candidate. I got one other here. This is called admin. This just has a checklist card, and all this does is have the checklists that are associated with each of these slots. Let me show you how it works. So you have candidate. Once they're put in there, this checklist is automatically put in. I check off that I've skimmed the article, that the card title is the article title, that the file name in the PDF is the title, and the card description has an APA 7 citation, and the PDF and citation in Evernote notebook called DBA Lit Trello. Once that's done, then it automatically moves into the OCR list over here. The OCR list just says verify the text available. The OCR needed, that can be a easy process or a big process. Once that's done, then it moves automatically to the ingest list. This is where I put it into MaxQDA. First I copy it to MaxQDA, put a citation in the document memo, put an abstract if available in the document memo, and then populate the variable authors. I have these 4 document variables: the variable year, methodology, and design. Once I check all those off, then it automatically goes off into the holding list. Again, I'll transform this into something else later once I'm done with this. So these are my 33 articles in all these lists. and in various states of completion is really nice. I can track the progress of each one. If I have time and I go, hey, I want to do something, what can I do? I know immediately I can click on any of these, like this one here, and I know that, see, it's got the title there, it's got this. The actual file is in Evernote, but I know already I've done it. I've skimmed it, made sure the title's right, the card description's right, the PDF's right, the OCR's right. Now my next steps are just to do these things. Once I do them, it'll automatically move it along, and hope to get my, whatever it is, I don't even know how many articles I have, but hope to get them, and do some statistics. How many are recent, how many are older, how many are qualitative, how many are quantitative. I'll be able to do all of that. So this Trello is how I'm tracking the ingestion of my articles into the system for my literature review, and also give me more familiarity with the process for when I have to do the qualitative analysis as part of the data collection analysis phase of my dissertation. Then what I did was for each Trello list, and there were two, I created a template checklist. I created a Trello automation for adding template checklist when the card is put into that list. And I created an automation for moving the card to the next list when the checklist is complete. And then I started processing 9 articles in the Trello. Today, the 27th, what I did was I had to document variables to max QDA, authors, year, methodology, and design. The idea is I'll populate those as the articles go in there, and then I'll be able to do any sort of statistics I need on dates or methodology or whatever. Then I created a Trello list with a checklist for ingest, and that list is for articles that are being ingested into max QDA. And then I started working articles, migrating them into the system and working them through the system. I now have 33 articles in various states of processing. That's where I am this coming week. Tomorrow I meet with my methodologist and get some feedback, also get some questions answered about the informed consent form. I have some concerns about that, and how to handle my content expert who's supposed to be reviewing my paper but had a death in the family and has my paper on hold indefinitely. So I need to get some guidance on how to move forward with that. Hope you're doing well. Talk to you later. Take care.